Welcome to our Chapter 3 lecture on digital repression and how both state and non state actors use digital tools to control, constrain, and suppress social movements. In this lecture, we'll explore major frameworks, typologies, case studies, and global trends. As I mentioned last week, social media is a powerful tool for activists. However, it has become a double edged sword. What do we mean by this? So, essentially, governments and private actors now use these same platforms to monitor, disrupt, and discredit dissent. Digital repression refers to actions that suppress dissent online. It includes traditional repressive practices moved into digital spaces, as well as entirely new innovative forms of online control. Chapter 3 explores Earl's repression typology, which helps us understand the complexity of how social movements are targeted. First, it distinguishes between state actors, like governments or police forces, and non state actors, such as private companies, militias, or even other civil society groups. Second, it breaks down tactics into two broad categories: coercion and channeling. Now, coercive tactics include things like arrest, violence, or surveillance. These are meant to directly suppress activism. Channeling, on the other hand, is about shaping or redirecting dissent in subtler ways, like framing through the media or encouraging acceptable forms of protest. The umbrella movement in Hong Kong is a powerful example of how digital repression plays out in both physical and online spaces. In 2014, protesters, mainly students and pro democracy activists, mobilized in response to a decision by China's National People's Congress to limit electoral freedoms in Hong Kong. The yellow umbrella quickly became the movement's symbol, representing resistance and hope in the face of state violence. Protesters used social media to coordinate sit ins, share real time footage, and raise international awareness. But the same platform they used were also exploited by authorities. Police cracked down on protesters with pepper spray and tear gas, while pro government supporters attacked demonstrators physically. Meanwhile, Chinese digital authorities engaged in widespread censorship, blocking mentions of the movement on social media platforms, removing content, and silencing dissent. This case shows the hybrid nature of modern repression: physical brutality on the ground, combined with digital censorship and surveillance in cyberspace. Today, non state actors, including corporations, security firms, and grassroots counter movements, are increasingly playing major roles in suppressing activism both online and offline. Additionally, there is soft repression, which comes from civil society. Victims of gender or race related movements are often stigmatized or ridiculed, making it harder for them to be taken seriously. Now, as I mentioned, corporations have begun to play a critical role in repression. Corporations often respond to protests using a range of tactics, from silence and compromise to surveillance and legal threats. Their economic stakes often align them with state power. One of the things that we're seeing now is tech companies collecting vast amounts of personal data. This data is frequently shared or sold to states and other actors who use it to track, intimidate, or silence dissenters. And still, globalization has blurred geographic boundaries of repression. Authoritarian states now use digital tools to track and and intimidate activists living in other countries. And when it comes to environmental activism, digital repression presents unique challenges, from surveillance of climate protest organizers to the censorship of environmental campaigns. Activists must now defend not just ecosystems, but the digital spaces where advocacy unfolds, ensuring secure communication, protecting data, and advocating for tech accountability are now central to the future of environmental justice. As we wrap up this discussion on digital repression, I want you to think deeply about how your campaign will navigate the complex realities of visibility, resistance, and vulnerability. Will your environmental campaign need a unifying symbol, something as instantly recognizable as the yellow umbrella used in Hong Kong? Symbols can rally communities and amplify messaging in powerful ways. Now consider the risk. Could your campaign face backlash from the state, police, or corporate interests? If so, how will you respond? What tools, strategies, or alliances might you need to protect both your message and the people behind it? These are not just theoretical questions, they're real considerations for any campaign that seeks to challenge power and promote change in a digital age. So, my advice, as you're thinking about your campaign or the cause that you care about, be strategic, be bold, but above all, be prepared.